Made possible through support from ARC Thrift Stores, Colorado Cross Disability Coalition, Colorado Developmental Disabilities Council, Developmental Pathways, Peak Parent Center, and the ARC of Aurora. THINK+change Talks. If you're a person with a disability, use your vote. Let them know, hey, we are here, we are thriving, and we want to continue to thrive. The Power of the Disability Vote, a series of different perspectives.
That you pull up to a polling center, that's where you start with accessibility. Is there a 36-inch curb cut to access the path for what the slope of ramps are, the door pressure gauge for being able to...
My name is Lisa Weiss. I work at the Elections Division of the Colorado Secretary of State. I'm the AD Accessibility Coordinator. My background is that I am a lawyer. I'm a civil rights lawyer and have been working in civil rights law for 25 years. My job at the state level is to be a support to the county election officials, the clerks and recorders that are running the voting processes across the state to make sure that their facilities and their processes are accessible for all people with disabilities so that people are not disenfranchised. I think that educating is the first and most necessary thing, and just making sure that election officials understand what accessibility means and putting themselves in the shoes of the people who are going to be coming into their offices or mailing in their ballots or however it is that they're going to be casting their vote. I think it's important that election officials understand the accessibility barriers so that they can eliminate them. We have a lot of rural districts. We have a lot of old buildings that are in use. We have a lot of rural districts that only have that old building that needs to be made accessible. I'm thinking in terms of like how a person actually physically goes into a voting site to vote. And just that process alone is extremely difficult. A lot of these places have parking lots that aren't paved, that don't have, starting from the get-go, the route into the office is not accessible. One of the things that excited me the most about taking this position is the opportunity to be able to make life more accessible for people with disabilities, not just in the voting process, but in life. A lot of these voting centers are libraries and schools and fire stations and police stations and divisions of motor vehicle that haven't really taken a hard look at what the barriers are for people with disabilities to enter their buildings, to be able to access everything in life that is going on in their particular space. And I find that most agencies and most companies don't really take notice of when something is going wrong until there's a complaint filed. That is certainly one way to be able to make your voice heard and to make your inaccessibility known, is to file a complaint. But I'm more interested in getting to it before a complaint is filed and educating the public, and certainly educating election officials in looking out for all of the possible barriers for somebody to be able to cast their vote. So education is key, and building relationships with the people who are running the elections is the most important thing that I can do. Yeah, there is, one of the most accessible and best practice, according to the National Disability Rights Network, which is a national legal resource for disability rights, is actually online voting, which is difficult to implement because of cyber attacks and all of that kind of stuff. It makes it a difficult process to ensure at a state level and at a local level that it is actually going to be safe. But we do have something at our state level that's called Democracy Live. And anyone who is overseas or has a disability, or really anyone, could use Democracy Live to vote.
Note that if you're a voter with any disability, you may still access and use the system whether or not you answer yes or no to this.
It's designed with an advocate who's blind. He tests it every single election cycle. He gives technical assistance to anybody who contacts him that wants to vote or use that system. And it seems like it's an ideal way to vote. Look at the ballot, try and figure it out, and cast your vote. I think that everyone needs to at least try.
To learn more about convenient and contemporary educational products through THINK+change, visit www.thinkchange.training.